I don't know.
I'm looking at the YouTube window and it says,
all right, we're going to try again. We're just going to reload that window.
Yeah, good idea.
Now, I guarantee you we are live.
Are we live for sure?
That's right. We're live for sure. I apologize.
Hello, everyone.
There's a 4-minute delay, but we are here. That is 4 minutes well earned while we hammer out the technical details. Yeah, we're going to do all of that all over again. It's going to be super easy. Thank you all for joining us for the LLAPy Awards post-show. The best part of the show. No, not really the best part of the show. The LLAPy Awards were great, but welcome to what we do here. I'm John Champion from Roddenberry Podcasts and Mission Log, among others. And next up on my screen is Ben. Ben, tell them who you are.
Hi, I'm Benjamin R. Harrison. I co-host The Greatest Generation and Greatest Trek, which are two Star Trek comedy podcasts that are not good and you should not listen to.
Thought I was supposed to say that.
I want to listen.
Next up is John.
Hi, I'm John Orquiola of Screen Rant. I'm the head of Star Trek movies and TV coverage. Our stuff is pretty good. You should probably check it out. And this is my co-host, Christmas Murph.
Hey, Christmas Murph.
Oh.
Nice. Next up, we have Shar.
Hey, I'm Charlynn Schmiedt. I co-host Mission Log Prodigy, and that is on the Roddenberry Entertainment Network right here. Among other things, I like to hang out on the Mission Log Discord.
Yeah, an exclusive for our Patreon community. But money well spent because you get to come hang out with you. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Among many others.
Among many others. And then finally, last but not least, our very own Dr. Trek. Say hello, Larry.
Hey, everybody. Yes, it is. Tonight, I'm not wearing a Trekwell. I'm wearing one of my other hashtags, which is texture, not trivia. There we go.
Ooh.
Meaning, if you say, that's wrong, they did it wrong. It's like, well, it's not wrong. It's like going against the grain. It's some texture that's not, So I thought, when we're some of these categories and some of these reactions might be apropos tonight.
How many hashtags do you have that are yours?
Like the classic hashtag stack.
Yes.
Amazing.
Ends with Trekwell, but yeah. No, this is the one that I try to calm down people when they get they burst the blood vessel, something's not right. It's not canon. It's like, hold on, we just created new canon. Don't you get it?
You have to talk them down from the ledge sometimes.
It's the exception that proves the rule. Oh, you've met those folks too?
Yeah, well, that's how you earned your doctorate. I mean, that
is.
Yeah.
And is that laptop bag that you just held up padded so that if they then grab it from you and throw it because they're not persuaded by your hashtag, it'll protect the laptop inside?
Exactly. It won't bounce too strangely, yeah. And so part of the missing 4 minutes of all history is that I just wanted the world to know this is the last virtual anything. This is the last performance from the original Trekland HQ room. This is all coming down before our move in the next couple of weeks. So a little piece of history tonight.
Oh.
Ben, don't let this opportunity slip away.
Oh,
I'm letting someone else set it up. I'm trying to be organically original here. So
yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering, is there an opportunity for a different kind of stream, say one that only goes to fans using that room before you disassemble everything?
Yeah. Well, no, not that. But I've been asked if the new space is going to be set up a little nicer.
Mm-hmm.
And what's amazing is my neighbor, who's an OnlyFans star, is going to sell me some of her excess, long, skinny, stringy, purpley, pink, neon, that stuff that everybody else on the internet uses.
Yes.
So, yeah.
The ambiance.
Coming soon, Dr. Feet Pics. And welcome to Anne-Marie Segal.
Yeah.
How's it going tonight?
Oh my God,
Anne-Marie.
Larry, it's like when the Pennsylvania hotel closed. Like
Pennsylvania 6,000. Yeah. It'll be back better than ever. Yeah.
Here's the question: are we going to get a new hashtag today?
I just did the texture, not trivia. No,
I heard. I was like, wait, I don't know if Free Belky's watching.
I'm doing good these days just to be on, present. Hey, the other day for Virtual TrekCon, Dr. Ali and I did our Life Support Live reunion, and my internet went off, blinked.
Oh no!
And I had to let
Great.
my modem. So he carried on for 10 minutes while my modem reset. So,
What a
Wow.
pro.
We
Yeah.
have light rain here in LA, so any of us could drop off at any moment.
It's
they're
true.
The
coming
ceiling
in from
can
the West
crash in
Coast.
at
Yeah.
any second.
Yeah.
Our infrastructure can only handle 76 and sunny skies. That's it.
Hey, good job tonight on the LLAPy Awards,
Yes.
Anne-Marie.
Oh my
Good
gosh.
stuff. Yeah, really enjoyed what I saw. And shout out to everybody who is in the chat. Our very own Earl Green, our technical wizard, is there. And let's see, there's Dave, Gregory, there's Glenn, there's, who else? There's another Dave. There's so many Daves. Scott
You
Palm,
Daves.
hello to you.
But how many Pauls?
I hope there's at least 3. I hope we have a Paul Fecta. I don't know. We're huge in the Dave and Paul demographic, as you well know.
We are.
Balls
I
that
know.
refreshes.
The
Okay.
thing is,
Yeah.
like, you guys are all my favorite shows, but I'm like, I'm so starstruck.
Say hi to Tiffany, to Allison. Let's see here. Sailor Marge and who else? We got Robert. Just a lot of we got Andy. So
Hey,
many
Robert.
people hanging out in there. So very good to see all of you. Let's see. Bob says, "Feel good about light rain. I've just got a band of heavy snow blasting
Yeah.
through." Well, lucky you, better you than us.
I have all their albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Heavy
well,
band of snow.
gang, the reason that we're here, of course, is to pick apart and argue about the results of the LLAPy
Yes.
2024 award show. No, I mean not argue, but we're Star Trek fans.
No,
We're gonna
pick it apart. If
That's
if
what we do.
anybody
apart.
if anybody left the awards with a great feeling about the awards, Star Trek, life in general, we are going to destroy that right here, right now.
Yeah.
That was the directive we got from Ryan. So we
Well,
dare not.
actually,
Oh, and so it begins. Wait, wrong
Yes.
show.
The prime directive, as it were.
All right. It was the smoking memo we got from Anne-Marie. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
exactly.
I was like, let's
exactly.
hash out this podcast battle once and for all.
Oh, yeah, that old thing. All right. Well, so let's do it. We've got a list here. Anne-Marie, thank you so much for providing that to us. Got a list here of all the winners, and we just get to go through and riff. So I'll kick us off with the first one here, and then we can go around. I assume everybody has the list pulled up in front of them, so we can each take a turn going through a category. Let's see here. The best... I guess the area that we're in is Legacy, pre-2017 Star Trek. Who is the best power couple in pre-2017 Star Trek? And the nominees were Milana and Tom Paris. We had T'Pol and Trip. We had Rom and Lita. We had Ben Sisko and Cassidy Yates. We had Kira Nerys and Odo, Jadzia Dax and Worf, Deanna Troi, and Will Riker. And the winner was Jadzia Dax and Worf. Now, I look, Anne-Marie, maybe you can correct me. I feel like there is a strong DS9 representation
Okay.
in the listenership of the
I
Seventh
think
Rule
I'm talking
podcast
now.
and Virtual Trek Con. Is that maybe the case?
Okay, so you would think that. So we
Mhm.
did some like litmus tests, and this is our 3rd year of Lappies now. And I was like very worried because obviously with Sirach being from Deep Space Nine and this originally being like mostly a 7th Rule team before we branched out and added Shar and a bunch of amazing people. But the first year we did it, there was a category Best Friendship. And we were like, it's going to be so embarrassing when Jake and Nog win. Not that I don't think they're the best friends, but that'll
Right.
make us look so biased. But Kirk and Spock won, and we were like, wow. And like thousands of people vote on this. And the preliminary, it's auto-populated, so anybody can add any answer. Then
Okay.
we take like the top ones where there's like a significant drop off wherever, like top 7, top 10. And then we create a Google Doc. It's randomized. We share it everywhere. And like, luckily Ryan is the admin of like groups worth like 250,000 Star Trek fans in all the different shows. So it ends up not being biased, in my opinion.
Okay.
And also I would have written in Janet and Larry Nemecek. But
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Good
don't know where my
choice.
mind
True
was.
power couple.
But
Well,
only
now, come on,
only pre 2017.
If you're good, yes,
That's
precepts.
true. Good point.
I was gonna say, if you're doing that, then you gotta have Mike and Denise. I mean,
Well,
you gotta
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta have
okay,
some,
gosh.
yeah, you gotta go down that line.
Yeah.
No, that
I
was
mean,
great. Emery, I'm sitting here thinking, is this like the Price Waterhouse Coopers accounting speech for the Lappies?
So, and the other thing I'll add is that Dr. Muhammad Noor, who writes a lot of science papers, he helps with our methods section for this. And so all of the Google Docs, every time you open it, it gets randomized. That's why like we typed out a script to give you guys, because otherwise you hit it and it's randomized answers. So
Right.
that gets rid of that bias.
Okay.
So I really do think in the end it's pretty good. It's just that Deep Space Nine had so many power couples.
Sure.
Anne-Marie, what I'm hearing you say is that the
It's super biased.
LLAPy Awards are significantly more legit than the Hugo Awards are currently.
I mean, they may be the most legit thing because we're all the Academy.
Yeah.
Hashtag Hugo's
so
so I started to say screwed. Hugo's so what am I trying to say? Skewed. There we go.
Oh,
Yes,
those
think
are
you had to write
easy.
the first
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
Screwed and skewed.
Skewed.
You
Yeah.
see it.
But I think
Yeah.
we're taking notes to be more like us.
Walter and
So.
Yeah.
All right.
That's going to be the name of my autobiography, by the way, is Skewed and Screwed. All right. So looking
How's
at
the name of your
Which
OnlyFans?
order?
OnlyFans, right. All right. So looking at this list,
Can I see this on Larry's neighbor's OnlyFans?
that's what you walked in on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
See, when you miss the missing 4 minutes, you miss a lot.
Yeah. All right. I hate to be the contrarian, but I love it. I'm going to look at this list and I'm going to say, yes, I get it that Jadzia and Worf, they're going to be the winners. I still think, I mean, Will Riker and Deanna Troi, they went through that early period of like, well, they were lovers and now they're just friends who work together, but maybe they still hook up. Maybe they like to talk about who else they're hooking up with. And then they got back together and then they're just totally professional. And suddenly they're getting married again. And now they live together on what, Nepenthe? Is that the name of the planet?
Cabin
Yeah.
World.
Yeah. And I love that we've
Universal.
gotten to have this long-term journey with them. So that's kind of cool. I would have thrown my vote there, but not saying you people who voted for Jadzia and Worf are wrong, but that's where
I
my
kind of
vote
feel
went.
like Worf and Deanna got jilted, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
But then see, some of these situations we only know what's on screen unless we jump off into canon, into comics and books and all that. And Troy and Riker had the longest. Trip and T'Pol only had little Enterprise to, I mean, some of these there's just kind of an inherent unfairness about who have we been with the longest. And Jadzia dies, and Worf winds up with Ezri, and then he's off, doing whatever he's doing later. But I
will still say that
Threesomes.
Jadzia was a better Klingon than Worf was. So, I said that. Yeah, that's right.
She
You're
took
not
to the
wrong.
role with a
more
certain
Klingons than we
alacrity.
saw him.
Yes.
No, I'm in the same camp. I just thought just inherently we got more, but that's not fair to the other nominees, the fact that we got more Deanna and Will on screen for a longer time.
Sure.
Well, I think maybe some of the difference. So, okay, I won't talk this much about other categories. I just love couples, and I watch Star Trek for their ships. So I think that like the fact that it's power
Couples
couple
of
and not
ships?
just couple, their relationships. So I mean, Deanna and Riker are obviously my favorite couple ever, but for power couple, which is why I actually voted for Ram and Lita, it's like two people who like really enhance each other's careers. And that kind of was Worf and Jadzia. Like I felt like they were stronger in their positions once they were starting to date and like felt really secure. So I can see why they won, but yeah, I was surprised they did.
That's right. And you just got the little Rom Lita update with Lord X.
Oh,
Sure did.
That they're at an even higher level than we saw them last live action. Right.
By the way, late breaking in the chat here, Dave, one of the many, says that he is now a VIP of Larry's OnlyFans. So,
All right.
Right.
And we're missing, according to Robert,
Hold on.
Seven and Chakotay.
No, we're not.
And,
Okay.
No,
we were
this
like,
is-
what happens if someone adds that?
we said
Ryan T.
power
Husk,
couples,
put that
not
in.
unpowered couples.
I think that we can all agree, though, that there is one ultimate power couple in Star Trek. We can just say it on 3, 2, 1. The saucer
Berman and
section
Brennan
and the
Braga.
star drive.
Oh, damn!
Okay.
Oh, that
I
one.
thought it was Berman and Braga. I'm so sorry.
I was
I'm so sorry.
We'll destroy franchise for food. Oh, I didn't say that.
Oh,
meme.
Hey, it's
Early
texture.
meme.
It's just
It's-
texture, Larry. It's just texture.
It's historically early memes on the internet. Okay.
The accreditation is going to remove the doctorate from your name. It'll happen.
Okay.
All right, I'm
was
done with that
honorary.
category. Who wants to take on the next category? DS9 makeup.
I'll do it.
Okay, I call Shar.
Mhm.
There
Okay.
we go.
How about it? Why not? Which Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode had the best makeup was the category, and the nominees were You Are Cordially Invited, Season 6, Episode 7, which featured Klingons, Ferengi, and Lurian. The Magnificent Ferengi, Season 6, Episode 10, Ferengi, Vorta, Jem'Hadar. The Visitor, Season 4, Episode 2, we have Aged Jake Sisko and Nog. Captive Pursuit, Season 1, Episode 5, Tosk and Hunters. Second Skin, Season 3, Episode 5, with Cardassians, including Kira. Rules of Acquisition, Season 2, Episode 7, Ferengi, including Pel, Thedosi, Other Aliens, and Broken Link, Season 4, Episode 26, Odo's Face, and Form Loses Cohesion. And that was the winner, Broken Link.
Mhm.
How do you feel about that, Shar?
You know,
How do you?
if this is just this is just a DS9 category, because if I recall correctly, the Emmy Award episode of Voyager named Threshold beat out The Visitor for this actual category. So the fans are speaking, in turn, I think, which is fine.
Good
Didn't
point.
the Visitor have? Oh, just hit me. Was it the Visitor that had old Jadzia
Jake,
and
yeah.
old Bashir
Tony
also?
Todd.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. I
Yeah.
mean, didn't we have the future one where
Yes.
we saw Bashir and Jadzia on the Defiant?
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
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 But
Yeah.
why did old Jake look so much like Worf's brother? I just I don't think the makeup was that good if it looks that much like Worf's brother.
They pulled the same mold. And,
That's why they lost to Threshold.
Augment virus? I don't.
Worf's brother, salamanders. You pick.
And don't forget
and their
melting
baby.
Tom Paris. I mean, I love
Yeah.
that whole transition.
Pull
yeah.
out tongue. I mean,
Uh-huh.
they really went
That
for
was
it.
good stuff. That was really good stuff. I do have to say that there's always a soft spot in my heart for a Bolian. I get very excited whenever I
Oh
see
my
a
gosh.
Bolian on screen, right? So I just would have thrown my vote there, but I can find no fault with any of these because they always do such a great job with the makeup.
Yeah.
Until they don't, which we definitely call out on Mission Log, but that's a different story for a different day.
As you do.
This one was so cool too because Deep Space Nine in particular, they'll have a billion extras. So, there's all of their makeup, and then this one, that particular episode had different ships full of extras, and then Michael Westmore came on to accept the award on the opening ceremonies, and there were layers to Odo losing cohesion that I hadn't thought about. They based it on third degree burn molds, and then they used KY jelly instead of reddening it so that it's kind of shiny and looks melting off. It's wow. I mean, when you think about the art that goes behind it, I'm glad this one won.
Hey,
He gave you a
Yeah, it is
whole.
good.
He gave you a
Yeah.
whole history / makeup
Yes.
demo just to accept the award, right?
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Any
really
excuse
cool.
to
Nice
break
guy
out the
at home.
KY jelly. Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh,
And
wow.
he actually had to accept it early because he's at a banquet tonight getting honored by the Makeup Guild.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
getting a lifetime achievement award from his peeps tonight.
That's
Yeah.
Yes.
awesome.
It's award season, these things happen.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Lappies, makeup, the whole. Yeah. All right, we're going to move on to the next here. I nominate John. I nominate you
Ooh.
to tell us about the next category.
Sure thing. The next category is what is the best ship battle episode in pre-2017 Star Trek. The nominees are The Doomsday Machine from the original series, Yesterday's Enterprise from Next Generation, Sacrifice of Angels from Deep Space Nine, Balance of Terror from the original series, Way of the Warrior Part 2 from Deep Space Nine, Year of Hell Part 2 from Voyager, Endgame from Voyager, The Best of Both Worlds Part 2 from TNG, and What You Leave Behind from Deep Space Nine. The winner was The Sacrifice of Angels.
And do you agree?
Sure. Sure, I do. Why not?
Well, good night,
But
folks.
If we're talking about pre-17 Star Trek would also include the movies, right? Because all of the
It
Abrams
did.
movies happened pre-2017, and I think the Abrams ship battles in 2009.
Those movies.
Yeah, those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, those they count too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Are
would say
those now
ship
legacy
battles were-
Trek?
Sincerely didn't
pretty great.
think of the JJ movies for this kind of anyway.
But when we say
I think
legacy
it's
Trek,
episode.
now we mean those.
Yeah.
We do
Yeah.
actually. It's before 2017, so like
Yeah.
everything before Disco. But
Yeah.
this particular one was episode because obviously the movies
Would have a
Ship
bigger
battles.
budget.
Okay.
budget scale.
But I
Right.
definitely say like
That's fair.
John Orquiola watches Star because I like read every article you write for Screen Rant. You watch
Oh,
Star
you're the
Trek
one.
with
Thank you.
you know I have you on first alert. But your eye for like background detail, or I know like you'll reference like Mark Altman's interviews and then go to the episode and then point out like screenshots of what they're talking about. So I'm like interested to hear who your pick was.
I am very partial to the Best of Both Worlds just because of just this. That was the first time we saw something of that scale on TV for Star Trek, and of course, the ramifications of what came out of that battle. So that would have been my pick. I think that was my vote, actually.
Nice.
I think what's interesting here is that you see kind of the progress of the effects design in Star Trek. So you go back to yesterday's Enterprise or
Balance of Terror.
Yeah, Balance of Terror,
And
Doomsday Machine,
Doomsday.
and then Best of Both Worlds even. And the scale of this kind of effect on TV is very different, even than from what we get with Voyager Endgame or Year of Hell. I love the sustained stuff in Year of Hell, that it just kept going and going and going. And we got to see that ship just fall apart after each. That was really impressive to me. But like story-wise, I think yesterday's Enterprise is really strong. I mean, look,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why
hard
is
to
that
pick a
not
bad one
here?
Yeah. Well, it's there, but no, people didn't
I
vote
mean,
for
as
it.
the winner, though.
The thing that see almost all of these, my brain would go, well, this I really wish we had two sets, or we had because the question was ship battle, and due to budget, a lot of these were like ship standoff versus full-fledged battle. Like so, the DS9 when they would shoot the wad on the Dominion War, and that's why they were so amazing.
OnlyFans,
We're back
Larry.
to OnlyFans.
Save it
Are
for
we-
OnlyFans.
It's a common phrase.
It's a
the
common
post show. We
phrase
can
for.
get away with it.
It's a common
Your
phrase
mind
for
out of the
something.
subspace gutters here. The subspace ship. No, but you know what I'm saying. I said,
Yeah.
ooh, it's just, and one of them is going to shoot the other one after 30
Yeah.
minutes. And that's but that's that was Balance of Terror. That was
Right.
Doomsday Machine. So
And-
I think the actual battles of this list and excluding and what you leave behind on DS9, the finale, they talked about how they had a huge sequence and they had to cut it back for budget. So Way of the Warrior, the Klingon station, and then Sacrifice of Angels from the Dominion War were kind of my two. So I'm
Mhm.
but I just thought it was I wish we'd had like what was the best ship face-off standoff encounter.
Mm.
But no, but this is a good question because with a category like this, I think your mind either goes to what was the most visually stunning or what was the most dramatic. And maybe those are
Yeah.
two totally different things as maybe represented by this list. Let's move along. I'm going to nominate Ben to catch us up here with our next category.
Oh boy. Okay, so we're down to which pre-2017 loose end would you most likely like to see resolved in current Star Trek? We had the conspiracy aliens, a pet topic of mine. We had what became of Bailey, who stayed with Baylock, TOS Season 1, Episode 10, the Corbinite Maneuver, which I always mispronounce. What happened to the Borg baby that disappeared mid-episode in Season 6, Episode 16 of Voyager?
Wow.
What happened to Thomas Riker after his appearance in Deep Space Nine, which was Season 3, Episode 9, The Defiant? What happened next with Dr. Gillian Taylor after the end of Star Trek 4, the one with the whales? Does Captain Sisko ever return from the wormhole after the end of Deep Space Nine?
Nope.
What happened to Kaiopaka on the moon?
Spoilers, John.
After that episode in season 1 of Deep Space Nine, where she like stays with those people who are having a senseless forever war because she decides that that's her religious obligation. And lastly, what happens to Lost, the J.G. Hertzler changeling after season 7, episode 14 of DS9, Chimera? The winner was, does Cisco ever return from the wormhole? The winner should have been, what happened to the conspiracy aliens?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
There's so many good
Ben?
choices here. I want to know the answers to all of them. And I'm honestly surprised that Lower Decks has not brought some of these characters back.
Well, yeah.
Thank
you.
At least maybe yet.
Well,
Yeah.
that Thomas Riker episode aired after we had like started these categories because we were like, we can start the voting on the legacy stuff. And then that episode aired where you see Thomas Riker's name, so now we know he's alive at least.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dr. Jillian Taylor, somehow that could happen because Lower
Mhm,
Decks could make that happen for sure.
Sure.
And the
Yeah.
Borg baby, abso-fraggin-lutely, Boimler needs to
Weird.
find the Borg baby.
That was so
Wow.
weird.
Yeah.
Borg
speak-
baby Boimler.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
speaking
Oh,
of,
Ben, Ben, I wanted to point out that Tawny Newsome also had trouble pronouncing Corbomite, so you're in excellent company.
Oh, that's
Hey.
that is terribly reassuring.
Yes.
Just to circle back to the nub and bugs from Conspiracy.
I was waiting
You
for this.
cosplay.
I'm broadcasting to you as the co-owner of the original master mold of the bug.
Stop.
We bought it from Michael Moore, who was like clearing space out in his prop shop, and
What?
and we've had it scanned, so there's now like an archival, super high resolution digital scan of it. We're working on some exciting stuff with that, but yeah, the conspiracy alien has been an obsession of mine for a long time. I one time had the opportunity to audition to host an official Star Trek podcast for CBS Interactive or something, and I brought a Sculpey model of the conspiracy alien and showed it to John Van Sitters, and I was like, this is what this new Star Trek Picard show needs to be about, man. And he just like rolled his eyes, and I didn't get hired to host the podcast.
Hey, look, just between us, I mean, it's kind of a
It's a
good
conspiracy.
thing good thing you didn't get hired, because then you would not be podcasting.
That's true.
So,
Mm.
I'm
and
glad
we
we
get
have
to
you
enjoy Tawny Newsome and Paul F. Tompkins on that show. So
yeah.
it all comes back around.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wait a minute. With the conspiracy bug with the mold, so presumably you could scale that scan mold. You do like conspiracy gummy candy. You
Yeah,
could do-
we're gonna do a line of weed gummies coming to
Yes.
California dispensaries near
Yeah.
you. You put them in your
Yeah.
mouth.
Come on, that's what.
Oh.
You relish in your body.
Brilliant.
You're going to
Oh.
make bank.
I love this. I love this. Yeah.
You've had enough when you see it actually take off and crawl across the floor.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
exactly.
The
That's
rest
how
of the
you know.
bag looks like.
That's how you know.
Yeah. I have no argument with any of these, except Cisco left. Come on, he got
Again,
to
it's
go
a scale thing.
with
It's like
God, and
you know.
he's not coming back.
What is
he's
this, Shane?
I remember that they broke
God.
like season 8, episode 1 in
Yeah.
What We Left Behind, the documentary, but I
Right.
don't remember like where. Was it like Cisco shows up right at the end of the episode or something
at
like
the
that?
end. At the
Right.
very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Is that not canon for you, John Champion?
God no. Look, the only thing that happened with Ben Cisco is that he said goodbye to his girlfriend and not his son. And then he's gone. And I hope that somewhere in the years since he has managed to teach the prophets a little something about family commitment and love. But apparently not.
Mhm.
Apparently he hasn't.
Mhm.
So
And then his son grew up to look a lot like Worf's brother,
it's so weird.
causing a lot of
Yeah.
people to question, was he Cisco's son in the first place?
Could have
Even
been.
Ooh.
Mm.
Maury
That's
Show
so
exclusive.
Quantum
was he
universe is
was
a
he in
strange
fact
thing.
Jake, son of Moog?
let's
Going into Greg
send our
Mode
next
mode.
category over to Larry. Funniest moment, if you would, please.
All right. The funniest moment in the original series. And the nominees wound up being the Fizbin scene from Piece of the Action, Spock, and I'd forgotten this moment. Spock, my congratulations, Captain. A dazzling display of logic. You don't think I had it in me, did you, Spock? I can't top Walter. Walter read these, and I didn't see that. No, sir, I didn't, from the Changeling. Tribbles fall on Kirk from the Tribbles. Scotty saying, laddie, don't you think you should rephrase that? You're right, I should. I didn't mean to say the Enterprise should be hauling garbage. Korax the Klingon says, I meant to say that it should be hauled away as garbage. From Tribbles. Kirk and Spock try to drive a car. Piece of the Action. Chekhov, I was making a little joke, sir. Extremely little ensign from the Tribbles. Notice how these are all from Tribbles. And Scotty's famous, it's green, from By Any Other Name. And the winner was, I won't repeat the whole thing, the laddie, don't you think you should rephrase that? Was from Tribbles.
And that fight is still going on.
It is.
That bar fight is still happening.
with reintroduced footage of Bashir and O'Brien.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They didn't even time travel. They went to K7 and it was still happening.
It was still
100 years later. That's how long that fight took. Hard to find fault with that. I do love It's Green just because it's one of the few early jokes in Star Trek that isn't just telegraphed completely, so I kind of like that. But yeah, these are all good moments.
Well, some of them are dialogue. Some of them, the Fizbin scene is just Shatner doing a tour de force, goofing, just going off on
looking adorable doing it.
Yes, looking adorable doing it. Some of it's the dialogue. Some of it, the car is one of my favorite bits too, where they're playing its reaction. Yeah. And they actually and James Comack directed that and some of these have been, I say I was making a little joke, sir, all the time. That's one of your go-to. And it feels like there's one other, there's one other situation didn't get nominated. And I was going to say something about it. I'll yell it out.
The Tribbles falling?
Huh?
Is it the Tribbles falling?
No, it was one that's not on here. And
I wonder what.
Oh, anything. There's nothing from I Mud here.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what it was. Any of the logic goof, the climax where it's logic is a little tweeting bird and a flower and all that. And
I mean, I totally agree. And I personally think that part of that end with Stella is hilarious, but I think maybe people just thought because it was referenced in Disco or I don't know, if you don't want to be seen to be laughing at a nagging wife, but it is kind of still a funny end to it. And the woman who played Stella was so hilarious. And their chemistry was so great. Mm-hmm. So I did agree that I felt like that episode deserves some love on here.
Yes. Yeah.
But, speaking of Tribbles falling, Walter reading the categories and then saying, I wish the Tribbles were made of bricks was the funniest moment of probably the entire award show.
And that won the funniest moment from the award show. Yeah.
He was great on that.
Yeah, and the commitment. Melissa drove, there was a copy of a script made for that, and then Melissa drove it over to Walter's house yesterday so that Walter could practice. I'm the level of commitment for everybody for the Lappies is just incredible. And Walter's
amazing.
Fantastic. Huge. And it's nice to see that old grudges never die. That's really heartwarming. By the way, Larry, you got a shout out from Ryan for your excellent delivery as Scotty. So all right. Good job.
Solid voice work there, Larry.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't top. Chris was on the Lappies and couldn't top that. So
I mean, of course, when he imitates his father, it's incredible. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to our next, and that'll be to Anne Marie, your favorite one-off character in The Next Generation.
So the nominees were Lieutenant Richard Castillo from Yesterday's Enterprise, Captain Rachel Garrett from Yesterday's Enterprise, Lal from The Offspring, Eileen from Inner Light, Put Your Shoes Away, Samuel Clemens from Time's Arrow, who I love, Lieutenant Commander Shelby from Best of Both Worlds, Part 1 and 2, Captain Jellicoe from Chain of Command, Captain Dathan from Darmok, and Okay, this was an add-on, and I was hoping he'd make the finals, and then he did. Sergei Rozhenko from Family, Worf's adopted dad.
That's a good one.
So the winner was
And the
Lal.
winner is
Yes, Lal. I mean, people love her, love the episode, and it's just so moving at the end. But part of me wondered a little bit if, like, having two characters from one episode maybe split votes for them from yesterday's Enterprise. But I don't.
like the
That's just
Saturn
one
Awards.
theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yes.
they're all so wonderful. Probably Lal. I think Lal did deserve to win. What do you guys think?
Lal's great. I mean, I think that
Yeah.
Rachel Garrett, like, kind of is the character that I would like vote for personally. Just she's such an interesting character. I feel like very much the prototype that they built Janeway's character on, and you know, one of those characters that you wish you could have seen more of. Like, you could, I wish, you know, maybe they'll make a series about Rachel Garrett one day. Like, doomed captains seem to be very in vogue right now.
I keep hoping they make the Enterprise C show. It's been on my wish list for
Everything
decades.
about the sea is just so. For a long time I just said it was my favorite Enterprise or my favorite. It's just because it's underdog. It's, you know, the crew, the ship, everything about it. It's a chunk of history, and we know nothing from that one little 1 hour. So
I think that we can all agree we would really like to see that show.
Yeah.
let's see.
Well, I'll take it a step further, though, and say there's a whole section of that era of Trek. So you got the Enterprise C and Captain Garrett. You got, of course, Sulu on the Excelsior. You got whatever happened to Gillian Taylor. You have all this, like, post-movie era, post-TOS movie era that I think is ripe for development.
Who was running cetacean ops on the sea?
See?
Yeah.
We know.
See?
Whoa.
Dr.
No.
Gillian Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh
The
my
late
gosh.
Gillian Taylor.
No,
Now, I guess we
I have-
know.
I've
Yeah.
said for ages, like, how about a mid Kirk Picard or a mid Archer Kirk? Either way, it's like there's a lot of wiggle room on either end there, and you can go and not worry about it.
Yeah.
You have lots of room to explore, and yeah,
So much untapped potential.
Texture, not trivia.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
wait, I'm going to write that down.
All right, let's see. I'll get us back to our next here, which is now we've moved on to the Star Trek universe, the big Star Trek universe. Yeah, thank you everybody for the ooh. All right. What
Sorry, I'll
was,
get out of OnlyFans now.
what was the most heartbreaking death in Star Trek? And the nominees were Data in Nemesis, Tasha Yar in Skin of Evil, Trip Tucker in These Are the Voyagers, Spock in The Wrath of Khan, Edith Keeler in The City on the Edge of Forever, Hemmer in Strange New Worlds, All Those Who Wander, and Jadzia Dax in DS9, Tears of the Prophets. The audience voted for Spock in The Wrath of Khan, and the audience is right. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Tasha Yar, I'm sorry, I don't care. I didn't. That is not a slight against
That's what I
Denise.
voted for.
Wow.
Look, Denise, I think is awesome. I think she's
No,
great.
we're telling her you said that. That's so messed up.
I think the character
She knows.
it was not right. And like Edith Keeler, that was one of my favorite episodes of TOS ever. It is beautiful and lovely, but
You
you
can
just
just
needed
take it
that.
out of the future like Gillian Taylor.
No, you can't do that. You can't disrupt the timeline like that. So yeah,
So
and
I feel like
Hemmer,
before.
and see, here's the thing. I think Hemmer was an earned death that like needed to happen the way it happened. And I know that people will disagree with me, but I think if we're going to have a death that actually means something in these series now, instead of just they die and then they come back next week, that was one that actually worked. Spock, you had 20 years or nearly 20 years of build up, and then it had meaning when it happened, and I still get choked up. So yeah.
That's the unfair advantage right there, is none of these
Right.
other characters have quite that much history to
Right.
compete with, no matter how beloved.
I think if you'd asked this question the year before Wrath of Khan, it would have been Edith Keeler.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that would have. But a lot of these are not just heartbreaking deaths; they're controversial deaths, like killing off Trip and killing off Jadzia. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of them
Right.
are tinged with people's opinion about the death much more than
One
Yeah, but
interesting
yes.
thing was last year we did a legacy category that was shocking death, and Jadzia won. And I kind of think like exactly that's more in the shocking category.
Yeah.
But I have to say that I mean we still on a weekly basis in my house with my parents and my siblings, we still bring up Denise like Tasha Yar's death. It was truly shocking when it happened. And I'm in like
Really?
3
It
or
was
4, and I've
shocking.
never
Well-
seen a character die on TV. Like when you're a
Yes.
woman of a certain age, that was crazy.
But now
Well,
I have to say, in the day that the death leaked, like
Yeah.
in the day you
Yeah.
knew she was, because they were already talking about her leaving the show because
We
she
didn't
wanted
know
to
that
leave.
in Wisconsin.
There's
These
a
heads,
border of
I can't-
Star
I
Trek
can't help
news
it.
not getting into Wisconsin. That's
That was
yeah,
crazy.
tale as
But
old
you know
as
what
time.
was amazing was when Nicholas Meyer came on, who was just on Portal 47. He came on to accept the award, and he was talking about how when they filmed it, a lot of the people on set, like in the crew, were crying. And I was just like, well, I think that is how you know what the most
But he
heartbreaking
wasn't.
death is.
He
Yeah.
didn't think about it. He was like slapped in the face by everybody. He was like, "Oh, I guess this is a kind of a big moment in history and pop culture." Like he didn't think
Yeah.
about it until he saw everyone doing it. Yeah.
Anne Marie, forgive me if this is like breach of ethics or anything, but do you know which one of these deaths Rick Berman voted for as the most heartbreaking?
Well,
Oh, I think we can figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay. I think we're done with that category.
you'd have to
Moving
explain
on.
Edith Keeler for one, and then
Let's see. I can't remember the order. Did we have Ben next
I'm
or
going next.
John? I'm sorry, Shar, of course. There we go.
All right. So this category is which movie would you most like to see return to the big screen? And our choices were The Motion Picture, The Wrath of Khan, The Voyage Home, aka Whales, Undiscovered Country, First Contact, Star Trek 2009, or Star Trek Beyond. And the winner was First Contact.
wow.
Mm.
And like the context for this one is that I've seen Paramount put out polls that are like asking fans, because in the summers, especially for like when they show movies on the lawns in Manhattan and LA, I think they do it in LA too, but they'll say like, what do fans most want to see? And so like Wrath of Khan was just 2 years ago, I think. So I think it's a little bit like swayed to things that have just come out in the movie theater again.
so this question was about what you just want to see on a big screen, not what
Yes.
you want to see reproduced, rebooted,
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I personally want to see 6, but
6 is so good on the big screen.
Yeah.
My co-host on my show, Adam, and I saw it projected in 70 millimeters at the Cinerama in Seattle years ago, and it's just it's such a beautiful movie. It's such an experience to see it up on a screen that big. But they're all great. Like I think that like I'd love to see Star Trek 2009 again in the theater. Like
I was thinking the same.
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, is all of the above would be fantastic. 6 has a special place in my heart too, just because it was the very first movie I did go see in the theater with my dad, and that was a tradition up until
Aw.
this very last, the very last one Beyond, because I had moved away and we didn't get to a theater in time to do it.
Oh, I saw it in theater with my dad too. And then like everybody else, there was a drunk college student cosplaying. It was so awkward, but also really special.
Was that in Wisconsin too? Is
Yeah.
that just par for the course? Yeah. Okay.
Plow through the
Um,
snow and the cheese to get to the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what though? Going back to First Contact again in the theater would not be bad, because it's been long enough to have it feel fresh all over again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, Larry, you and
5
I
years.
had the great privilege of seeing a beautiful projection of the motion picture under amazing conditions. And like, I know that movie is not everybody's cup of tea. I will defend it to the
Oh,
death.
you're talking about the director's cut.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
I
was
saw
there
the
too.
I
I was
saw
there too.
I-
That was
I-
great.
I saw the
Yeah.
motion picture 5 years ago at the New Beverly. Like
Oh, yeah. We were there
film-
together.
the pink.
Yes. It was all
The motion
faded.
pinkness.
It
Yes.
was all faded. I stayed for the
Yes.
black hole.
But it was
Did you?
filmed, damn it. Yeah.
Yeah. They did a double
Yes.
feature, black hole and
Yeah.
TNP.
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah. but
79
I mean,
lives. 1979 lives again.
Look, I'm going to put in a vote here for The Voyage Home, because I feel like we all say, rightfully so, as someone with the whales. And now that it has become shorthand for that movie. And we all know that it's a fan favorite. We all know that it was the most popular at the time. It was the most popular, reached the widest audience. But I think it has gotten eclipsed, and we just sort of remember it instead of actually like watching it and absorbing it again. I would love to see that movie come back, because it's one of the few times that Star Trek has reached such a huge, wide audience. And we don't have that right now. So I'd kind of, if I'm the guy at Fathom, if I'm Johnny Fathom, then I am going to put that on the list next.
Yeah. They loved it in Moscow.
Yeah. Well,
Also, Walter's leather pants.
yes.
Look at the
There you
logo
go.
screen.
That's going on his OnlyFans.
That's right.
So yeah.
The butt on that guy when he's jumping over those like
It's
bales of
true.
equipment on the naval ship.
Magnificent.
Amazing.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I'd forgotten that. I'm just thinking of the trippy plaster heads when they're all supposed to be time traveling. It's like, what the hell does that mean? We don't know. We just, you know
It's
what I'm
the
talking about?
LDS.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a great point, because I think the purpose of them re-releasing it with like Fathom events or like on a big screen on a lawn is to like show off their goods for a wider audience, and that is such an appealing movie. So
I haven't watched it in
Showing off
forever.
the
I
good.
feel like these others
I
I've watched
love
over and
that one.
over again, but
Mhm.
it is, I feel like I remember 4 so well that I'm like, I don't need to watch that again. But then you watch it and it's like, oh wait, this is really satisfying, you know?
Here's my pitch. It should
Okay.
be the motion picture, not because it's the best Star Trek film, but because
Which it is, but
Ofobo's ticketing system could actually handle the demand for Star Trek the motion picture.
You may have a point. Yes. All right, let's move on to our next. And now I believe it's Ben. That'll be John.
Well, it's not a
And-
word said about the JJs, but we'll move on.
Yeah, you know.
Yes.
All right. So Ben, you get this mouthful. here.
Okay, so one-off alien species. Which one is the most fun? And there's a bunch of qualifiers here. So these are aliens that were featured on a movie or episode. If one shows up in the background, simulation, dream, or holodeck of another episode or movie, this does not exclude them from the poll as long as they weren't featured or have a significant line the second time around. These alien races, these are alien races of which we see more than one character, so we get an idea of the race's culture. The nominees in the category are the Iosians in TOS Season 2, Episode 20, A Piece of the Action, the Antikins in TNG Season 1, Episode 7, Lonely Among Us, the Mintakans in TNG Season 3, Episode 4, Who Watches the Watchers, the Dosi, Season 2, Episode 7 of Deep Space Nine, Rules of Acquisition, the Baku of Star Trek Insurrection, the Quomar of the Voyager episode Virtuoso, Season 6, Episode 13, the Duplers from Lower Decks. Finally, Lower Decks getting some love in this award show.
Yes.
Lower Decks, Season 2, Episode 5, An Embarrassment of Duplers, and the Enderprisians from Prodigy, Season 1, Episode 13, All the World's a Stage. And the winner was the Iosians from TOS.
So good.
How do you feel about that, Ben?
I mean, I feel like so many of the aliens of TOS were kind of one-offs. Like,
Yeah.
it was still such a Monster of the Week franchise back then.
Or they were completely human.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you guys are like real assholes, but you look exactly like us. Okay. You know, like
Romans, gangsters. Let me hear yours.
Mhm.
I'm curious if there is further to go with the Duplers. Like, are the Duplers a one note joke that you can do a 22-minute episode about, and that's it?
Isn't there a sitcom out there? And now the Duplers. And it's like Norman Fell and Audra Lindley should be. Oh wait, that's been done. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anything that would get us more of Richard Kind. I am so 100% for it. I would
Yes.
love to see more Duplers. I feel like the Enterprisians, I mean, look, All the World's a Stage is my favorite episode of Star Trek since 2017.
Really?
I think it is one of the most beautiful, touching. It is the love letter to fandom that we've sort of all been waiting for. People say, "Oh, this is a love letter to fandom." Like, no, this actually is, and I think it's beautiful. I can't watch it anymore because I will just start crying watching it.
Oh, John.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought you couldn't watch it because they took it off the streaming service.
I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to bring everybody down.
That's why he's really crying.
That's why I'm really crying. Yeah.
John, good news, it's back.
Yay!
It's on Netflix now.
It was
But here's the
a
thing, I
Christmas
think that
miracle.
episode is so perfect that I don't want them to come back. You know, I just want to leave them exactly the way they are and just leave that perfect little moment of Star Trek the way it is.
John, I didn't think about that, and you know what? I'm still not changing my answer because that was my vote. Was the Enterpriseans? They're
was the
just so
Enterprise? Okay.
charming.
They are. They
Yes.
are. They're wonderful. But I think they told the perfect story. And if you try to resurrect that, you're going to mess it up, and it won't be a privy. It'll be like
True.
doing too much in a franchise and just, beating it to death and releasing too much content where people can't. Anyway,
John Orquiola, who did you think?
The Enterpriseans were definitely my vote, and they were also the vote of Christmas Murph here.
Of course.
Christmas Murph.
But I feel like this is a good example of probably not enough people who voted actually watch Prodigy, because I really feel like this is the clear winner for the most fun alien.
I voted for Oceans. So first of all, when I did the auto-populate, I sent in my thing to Ryan to like get the poll started. And he was like, "Who are the lotions?"
That's the
Damn.
OnlyFans alien.
They're very moist.
Yes,
On
their
moist
own vessels.
Oh my God.
and OnlyFans. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I have to say, like in TOS, I've been going through doing a complete watch, which I had never done. But that's like that one episode, that alien race is so charismatic and fun, and it's just so iconic that I was like, I mean, for a one-off alien that doesn't get referenced in Lower Decks or come up again, I had to.
I would say
love Bella
Quentin
Oxley.
Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino agrees with you,
Yes.
from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like every line is gold and it's so hysterical. I love that one.
Well, so did Ira and Ron and Renee and the guys when they were doing the 30th and wound up doing triples. But the first thought was to go back and revisit the Iotians.
So
Only do it
when I
like
was
100 years later and see who
I
they were
love that.
debating now. You know.
Yeah.
when I was like, who should accept this award? And I was like, oh yeah, duh, there's like a kid who was an Ioshin who's still alive. So then I like tracked him down. He's a dentist in Colorado. And he goes by his name in the show is like Sheldon Phillips. I don't remember his last name, but it's in real life it's Sheldon Gollum. So then I called first of all, I called the answering machine a few times overnight to learn how to say his last name. And then I called like when Denver opened their dental practice and his office manager picked up and I was like, hi, I have a Star Trek award show. I was like,
Honestly,
Dr. Gollum won one. The office manager was like, that's amazing because his dental practice website, it's like there are links to his work in Hollywood and a lot of it's about Star Trek. And then he's like, in addition to dentistry, I'm a huge Star Trek fan.
Amazing.
It was just really cute.
I love those.
Nice.
honestly, the best part of this category was him accepting the award. It was very cool to see him.
Yeah, amazing job, Anne-Marie. Amazing job tracking
It's,
it down.
Bravo.
It's some
Yeah.
primary research there. That's awesome. Yes.
Oh, was Larry
Or
helped me, and
archaeology
I was
or
like,
something.
we submitted like a contact us form on his dental practice and we didn't hear back. So I asked Larry, like, hey, do you know how to get a hold of him? And he's like, how about you try like picking up the phone and calling? I was like, oh yeah, phones. You can actually like use them to call. So,
Those
thank
complex
you.
doctorate tools of research we have.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to our next. And John, you're up.
Yeah, who is your favorite reintroduced legacy character in 2023? So the nominees were Rom from Star Trek Lower Decks, season 4, episode 6, Parts Ferengi Heart Place. Montgomery Scotty Scott from Strange New Worlds, season 2, episode 10, Hegemony. Ro Laren from Picard Season 3, Episode 5, Imposters, Dr. Beverly Crusher from Picard Season 3, Episode 1, The Next Generation, Worf from Picard Season 3, Episode 2, Disengage, and Commodore Geordi LaForge from Picard Season 3, Episode 6, The Bounty. And the winner was Captain Worf, the pacifist Klingon.
The tea is chamomile.
I can't argue with, because Worf makes everything better. You can put Worf in anything, as far as I'm concerned, and it improves it astronomically. I loved him in Picard, and no arguments here.
Honestly, as the comic relief in Picard Season 3, he was fantastic. I'm not surprised at this pick whatsoever.
But like also, like Worf in obviously we've known him the longest and seen him on screen the most, but like in this season they managed to grow his character even more when a lot of the other characters who were reintroduced didn't have their character necessarily. And I just felt like that finale where he does the random act of kindness for Raffi and like doesn't even expect that Raffi will know it was him when he like gets her back in contact with her son, and you just see him watching like a proud dad. I was like, this is such like another level of like Worf learned how to love, like and it's just like romantic love with Jadzia.
Excuse me, and where's Alexander?
Yeah.
He hadn't learned to love that time. He
They're
had not
fine.
learned to love.
Yeah,
He did learn to be a father.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Alexander who?
Excuse me, and where's Kern?
Yeah.
Oh, Kern, I forgot all about him.
Yeah.
He forgot all about him.
Yeah.
Kern forgot all about himself. Yeah.
When Worf is well written, he's so great, and when they don't know what to do with Worf, it just is a problem. Fortunately, they knew what to do with Worf here, and that was great. And I love that they changed the character just enough, like gave him a place to go, which was great. However, we all knew that he was coming. We knew that Geordi was coming. We knew Dr. Crusher was coming. We knew that Worf was coming.
Yeah.
I did not know about Ro Laren coming back. And that I thought was awesome. So that was my favorite reintroduction, just in terms of like a dramatic, whoa, you didn't expect this.
Yeah.
Right, but we have the surprise category coming also.
Oh,
right?
we do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You ruined the surprise.
I still vote for Ro.
Okay.
I'm with you,
Okay,
John
well,
Champion.
Hey, see, there we go. Solidarity.
So although I literally
Solidarity
laughed out
forever.
loud on Worf when he pops in and they reveal it's him. First of all, I marveled at the slicing the head for Star Trek to do that. I was like, whoa! And it wasn't Elnor doing it on his.
Yeah.
It was Worf doing it, and I was like, whoa, it's him. And then when he says, she's like, who are you? And he says, I am Worf, son of Moog. And I started to mouth blah 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 blah, and he's saying it as I'm like, and I just died laughing. It was like, yes, perfect. However, I voted for, in a sea of equals here, Dr. Crusher, only because it wasn't just Geordi, oh, he's doing this and he's doing a hobby with his daughters, or it's Worf finding a new time. It's like, oh my God, it's Beverly it's Gates getting to do all the shit they never let her do before and carry the arc of the season.
Yeah.
It's not just because of all of Jesse and all the Bev fans out there. It's like, that's what I thought. So that's as far as what they favorite, as in what they did and then what they did with it. And I love Ro too, and she's in my surprise category. But I just love that they did so much with her that they'd never done before.
Yeah, true.
First, you got to see Dr. Crusher's pearls from back when she was in Dixon Hill. And obviously, I like to
all of her old set dressing. Yeah.
But she was the one action figure I ever had from Star Trek. And I just love her so much that they brought her back. So she was my.
Oh.
I know why he wasn't nominated and why he didn't win, but it drives me nuts that we just that little peek of Tuvok, and we don't know if real Tuvok is even alive.
Yes.
He was mentioned.
Yeah.
Real Tuvok's alive.
Tuvok's alive.
Yeah, he
Is he?
nominated. He did. He's the one behind Seven's.
Yeah, he
Oh,
should
okay.
have been.
Yes, he
Yeah.
came
Promoted
in.
her.
Yeah.
I must have been stoned for that part.
Well, he was in the
any different?
preliminary poll. And then even though you see a glimpse of him in Lower Decks, he doesn't have a line. So that's why some of these categories have like tons of little like and then this because I'm like, I don't want to get well actually for like just a dry
Actually, yeah.
But okay, I guess we should maybe, now that we're getting more towards like newer Star Trek, pick up the pace a little.
Okay.
go to the end of the hour. But I can
all
talk
right.
about this for
Okay.
So we do have a, let's see.
Yes, sir,
Larry.
doctor.
Okay. So Larry, that's you with we can't pass this one by, the cage.
Oh, yes.
yeah, go
Which
to
we had
it.
an awesome panel the other day with Sandy.
Yeah.
So go back and watch. Okay, what's the best moment in the original Star Trek pilot, The Cage? Captain Pike figures out that the malfunctioning laser pistol is an illusion and threatens the Telosian with it. Dr. Boyce prescribes a martini to Captain Pike while having a heart-to-heart chat. Pan out from Captain Pike seeing Vina for the first time to reveal that he's actually on a screen being watched by Telosians. Spock smiles as he touches the singing plants in Talos 4 and stops them. The most experienced officer is left in command of the bridge. It's number 1, i.e. a woman. And Vina's true appearance. Oh, no.
Yeah.
How did 1964 handle it? Vina's true appearance reveal and explanation. And the winner was... Really?
Yeah.
Okay. The
Yeah.
winner is Spock smiles as he touches the singing plants on Talos 4. Okay, has anybody watched The Cage?
I just watched it again. Well, first of all, I have to give you and John Champion a big shout out because you had actual Telosian on your Cage panel on Thursday, which was
So
just
good.
the most amazing thing to see.
She was
Sandy,
great.
Sandy's
Oh.
yes. Go
Oh.
get her book, everybody. She's got a whole stunt career and has an amazing
Yeah.
thing. Yes,
So
just saw her
cool.
live at
Right.
Gallifrey
And
One.
she still has IMDb credits in like 2023.
She's still working.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
she's still working.
As a stunt person. She's
Yes.
amazing. But what I was gonna say is like, yeah, it was so cute seeing Adam Nimoy accepted on behalf of his dad. But I loved when Rob was presenting the category, and when he got to the one with number 1 being left in charge of the bridge, he goes, "I'm partial to this one because that's who I voted for." So cute. Love me.
Larry, what should have won from The Cage?
Well, I did too. One, Pike figuring out that the pistol is an illusion and threatens the Telosian. It's like the turn of the show. I mean, again, put your head back in 64 and you don't know everything Star Trek. But just like, what's this show? What's the dramatic point of what's plot point 1 and plot point 2? That one. And then the other one where I was making fun of it, but where he's talking to Vina and you pull back and it's the first time you see the Telosians, I think.
Amazing.
But that they're being
Oh.
overseen. It's that whole voyeur, what's going on here? I mean, those are the moments.
Oh, but what
I mean, I
about
love Boyce
Dr.
and his-
Boyce in that
Huh?
scene? What
You
about
what?
Dr. Boyce in the drink
Oh,
scene,
yes.
having the
Yeah,
heart to heart?
yeah.
I mean, that's one of my favorite
It's a
scenes in
great
all of Star
character.
Trek.
They should bring that back in like a Kelvin movie or something.
This is a tricky category, though, because it's
Yes.
best moment. I think Spock smiling is memorable. It is definitely not the best.
And with hindsight, people go, "Ah."
Exactly.
Right.
And I
Mhm.
love that
It's a
with
feel-good
all
one.
this 60 years of hindsight that the Spock character keeps developing and you keep getting these indications about his emotional life. Like, that's fine. That's great. I think best moments, definitely number 1, taking command on the bridge is a great moment.
Yes.
But that, anybody who knows me, if there's a scene with a martini in it, I'm going to gravitate there.
yeah.
But it's an important scene. Think about how early that is in the show, how early it is in Star Trek at all. And this is an indication like, hey, look, these are real people. And this guy's got a problem with his job and they need to talk it out. That is just such a magnificent scene
These
that you
are-
would not see in any other sci-fi at the time.
These are actual humans that are
Yeah.
grounded, just what Gene was not wanting to have happen, that people go, "Ooh, bug-eyed
Yeah.
monsters." And it's
Yeah,
real.
it's so great. So great. Okay. Any other comments here on this? Anybody want to pick
Just
a
that I love
favorite?
hearing everybody's favorite moments. It's so fun.
Ben?
I agree with the crowd on this one. Spock smiling when he touches the plant, because it's kind of an erotic moment, you know. It's like the one thing that can make a Vulcan.
Tactile. Yeah.
That's
know,
on
emote.
OnlyPlants. OnlyPlants site. Yes.
That's what Spock's
They
into.
He actually,
That's his fetish.
they
Uh-huh.
actually have lots more photography of him smiling when he touches other things. But
Ooh,
that
yeah.
guy
uh-huh.
edited it out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also
Oh.
private.
He's a very
Mhm.
tactile guy.
Yes.
Mhm. He feels more than we could even know. Just he's expressing it, you know.
Yes. All right. John, comments?
Not after that.
No, not after that. All right.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all
All
good.
right. Anne-Marie, take us into new Star Trek, please. Push.
So these are from every episode that came out in 2023, including very short treks. Okay, let me just find where we are. I had to set myself a reminder to remember only plants for forever.
I know that's actually what stuck me. That's still in my head. I was going to only
welcome.
rocks, only dirt. I was
Is
like, what
this
is
a real site?
There's
I know.
legitimately an arborist in my neighborhood that has only trees as like the logo on their vehicles, and it's
Wow.
in the style of it's.
No,
Why did
stop.
you
There
do
really
that?
is something for everybody.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Like,
Like
you know,
what?
all
Like
plants is-
who is this for?
Wow!
Hey, makes all kinds.
Wow!
Sorry. Okay, so we are at what is the most surprising reveal or twist in Star Trek Picard season 3? Robbie's handler's Worf, Ro Laren's return to Star Trek, transmission from Admiral Anton Chekhov, Enterprise 1701D reveal, seeing all the legendary ships at the Fleet Museum, or Q comes back to visit Jack Crusher. And this was surprising reveal or twist. So who won was Ro Laren's return to Star Trek. And Dan Liu accepted it because he directed that episode. And as John Orquiola knows, we're both massive For All Mankind fans. We love Dan Liu. Like
Yes.
he can do no wrong. His episodes are amazing. So yeah, I agreed with this. I think it was such a huge reveal. And then it was also a twist that she died. It was crazy for I don't accept that. I think she got beamed out by like Section 31, but
Then it was a reveal they didn't want to kill.
Wow.
Yeah, they had the
but
backup.
I mean that was a hell of an episode reveal.
Yeah.
So I think the right one won. What about you guys?
Yeah,
I don't disagree.
hard agree. Yeah.
Rolaren, this is a Rolaren Stan account.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. You guys on your podcast
Okay.
have an actual drop anytime Rolaren gets mentioned. That's how. And people write in and give priority one messages. Just their only message is like, we just want to hear the Rolaren. That's how it is.
Yeah.
That's worth $100.
Yeah.
Only Bajorans. This is like 2/3 of the whole poll. I got down to 3 finalists, and then I got tired of trying to make them fight each other. Squat loose betting and all that. And this was one where I said Ro, definitely. But the other thing was getting Walter to do Pavel Chekhov's son or
That was
grandson.
amazing.
That was awesome.
That was a surprise.
And the surprise, even bigger than Ro, which was like, oh, a shock. It was a surprise and pleasant and all that. Oh, this is cool. But the shock was finishing the whole damn finale and then popping
was
into
shocking.
Q and Jack, which you're like,
Yeah.
oh, and they didn't link it. There was not a hint of that happening. And then,
That was
like, what the
crazy.
are they going to do with it? What? They killed him. Like, what?
Well, and
The
then
show
the
is
shock
dead.
was them
Why are
saying it's not a backdoor pilot. Like,
Yeah. So this was one where I wound up with 3, and I was like, oh, whatever. And Ro was one of them, but I was like, I can't decide here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's move on for the sake of moving on.
Yeah.
All right. What is the most TNG moment in Star Trek Picard season 3? And the nominees were Q comes back to visit Jack Crusher, the TNG crew back on the Enterprise 1701D bridge with Major Barrett Roddenberry's computer voice, the I am Worf, son of Moog, etc., etc. I have made chamomile tea. Do you take sugar? The TNG 7 playing poker together again, or the Data Lore Showdown featuring Tasha Yar and Spot, or the TNG 7 reunited in a conference room. Everybody picked, and I'm sure by a very wide margin, the TNG crew back on the Enterprise 1701D bridge with Major Barrett Roddenberry's voice as the computer. I get it, but then I'm going to come back and tell you why you're wrong. All right, go ahead.
Oh,
Go
hot
ahead.
take.
Uh-huh.
I think
I got a little
poker. I
misty-eyed.
think poker is very
I voted
TNG.
for poker too. And then
Okay.
I thought
Yeah,
conference
that's it for
room
me
would have been
too.
my number 2.
Okay.
But you know what? Hearing Major Barrett Roddenberry's voice again really did miss me up. Did not know that was coming, and it affected me from the gut in a way I was not expecting whatsoever.
Mm.
Well, that's
And then
fine
to
voting
let
for
them
her
let
for
Frakes-
other categories, but like, and at some point, like, people who were helping me run things were like, "Stop putting Majel specifically in it." Like, you love Majel. I was like, I know, but I thought for sure the poker scene would win, so I was trying to help others along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the poker scene is big, but that poker table, and they had the set still. They kept it over. that poker table cost a millionth of what building that bridge. I'm not saying that money is the only factor here, but it was such a splash. And then and then having John Riker refer to, like, I missed that voice, or I missed that.
Yeah.
Even
Well, we
all
do.
do.
I did vote for that for exciting moment, but for most TNG moment, I just felt like poker or conference room.
Yeah.
I think that the challenge here is like favorite moment might be what people actually voted for when the category is most TNG moment.
Yep.
Totally.
Yep. And I think that's exactly it. That's why I have to go with conference room. Because
So TNG.
because all right, there's never a TNG moment where everybody assembles on the bridge and goes, "Wow, look, it's the bridge of the Enterprise." Whoa, that's not a TNG moment. It's not. They don't because they live there and they work there. That's like if every time I walked into this office, I went, "Wow, there's the place where you keep the snacks," like that's not a thing that would happen. But the conference room, that is a scene that is played out a million times in TNG. So they didn't have to telegraph it. You just got them in there and you're just like, oh, wow, wait, now it feels real again. Now it just feels like they're at their job doing their thing. And that gave me chills in a way that the other things that I was expecting didn't.
Mm-hmm. And some poor director is having to make it look exciting.
Yeah, right.
Little do they know, it's just exciting seeing them in a conference room.
Yeah, I know,
So
I know, right? Yeah. But it was little things like that you just go like, oh, they've done this a million times and they slip back into that familiar role and they have to feel it too,
Completely agree.
It was cool.
All right, but Majel, look, I do not take away from the power of Majel. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I think that is what tipped people over to vote for that.
It might have.
Maybe.
If the poker scene had column-mini in it, maybe we would be having a different conversation.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Time to pluck a pigeon.
Pigeon, I was going to say. The pigeon has its own OnlyFans too.
Of course it does.
Jesus, Larry, you took it too far.
No, I didn't open this door. I said it once and let it go.
All right, let's kick it over to Shar with our next category.
All right. That is, what is the most rewatchable episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2? We had Those Old Scientists, Ad Astra per Aspera, Subspace Rhapsody, and Tomorrow, and Tomorrow, and Tomorrow, and Tomorrow, and Tomorrow, and Tomorrow! And the winner was Those Old Scientists, the crossover episode. Yeah, look, I know a lot of folks were really into the musical episode. That was their jam, but nah, being a Lower Decks fan, I can't help but be thrilled that Those Old Scientists took it.
I mean, like the musical and Those Old Scientists are the juggernauts in this category, and I know that there are going to be like very disappointed people on both sides of that.
Yeah, it's hard to argue. It's hard to argue against Those Old Scientists. It's a great Star Trek episode. It's got the novelty of the crossover. It's beautifully acted and
yeah, they pull it off.
They pulled it off.
Yeah.
Pulled it off at all. I will say though, I love Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I think
That's
it's a
what I voted
fantastic
for.
two-hander. And just the chemistry between Christina Chong and Paul Wesley, I think carries the whole thing. It's to me that's a very rewatchable episode, and I do rewatch it quite a bit.
Well, I've heard that the chemistry between you and Christina Chong is also off the hook.
Whoa.
Like,
No.
yeah, I've
Wait a
seen some
minute.
DMs
Whoa.
where she calls you her favorite.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh,
you're her favorite journalist. She says on Twitter.
wow.
Man. All right.
It's true. It's true.
He's gobsmacked.
Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, no comment.
I just
How could you say anything about that?
She is great.
Oh, she is awesome. Well, yeah, her whole music career, what she's done with her album and her promotion for her albums is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a new thing for Trek. No, it's like I already held my tongue on one thing. Not that I have a criticism, but it's just like I'm not as high on it as, or was disappointed even on like the whole data lore thing on the last question. I was underwhelmed and I was disappointed that it wasn't cooler to me. But anyway. So that wasn't a fate. But here it's like tomorrow's it's fine, it's fun and yay and everything. And I think my favorite part of that's the end of the reveal with my head in a jam with the Romulan and trying to figure out what they've done with things now. And the whole, I mean, it's great. Tomorrow was redeemed when we got later on that Kirk talks about Carol Marcus. And I'm like, okay, it like that made that episode better for me because even though they're alternate timeline, blah, blah. But yeah, I have the two big shows. If it hadn't been for the crossover and the musical, Ad Astra Per Astra was an amazing courtroom show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if it hadn't been for those other two, I would have said that one because it was so much better than I was expecting a courtroom show to be and have a punch at the end. But yeah, you can't go wrong with the big two there.
I always like it when Star Trek comes along and just does an episode about what Star Trek is about. And that's why I loved All the World's a Stage, and that's why I love Ad Astra. But I'm really torn because TOS is just so enjoyable and it's so much fun. And for fans who have been playing along the whole time, it's just every little detail after detail you get to love. But Ad Astra is one of those episodes that comes along, and if somebody's new to it, in fact, I think it might be. My mom had not seen any of Strange New Worlds yet. And when I was home, I was like, well, I got to watch this stuff for the show. Here, we're going to watch this. And then, boom, that's the episode. I was like, both of us blown away. The acting was fantastic. And it told you the message of Star Trek right there in an episode. So I think I would probably vote for that, but that would just be the personal pick.
So do you think your mom will watch Star Trek after that?
she actually watched all those Strange New Worlds. Yes.
Oh, cute.
She did. I mean, look, my mom is the one who introduced me to Star Trek when I was 3 or whatever. So she definitely knows her way around Trek. But yes, then she caught up on all those Strange New Worlds.
Is she the one that got you to audition for Wesley?
I was the one who got me to audition for Wesley. I called the agent. I was like, look, guys, there's some new Trek coming. Please do it. That's a story for another time, like maybe an episode of the Trek Files.
Hey.
All right. Let's move to the next one. And I believe, let's see, Ben, you've got this.
Okay. Which moment in Star Trek Strange New World Season 2 gave you the biggest smile? Nominees were Pike cooking and serving to Pring's parents, cooking for and serving to Pring's parents. He didn't cook her parents.
He didn't cook her parents?
Good clarification. Yeah.
La'an and alternate timeline Kirk
like
kissing. Commander Ransom regarding Boimler's Una Ad Astra Per Aspera poster, the hottest #1 ever. The introduction of Montgomery Scotty Scott in season 2, episode 10, Hegemony. Spock telling his mother that he is proud to be half human and that she is a wonderful mother in season 2, episode 7. K-pop, or expanded Klingon pop in season 2, episode 9. Subspace Rhapsody. And I just, having seen what the chat was doing during the last category, I'm going to guess that was probably the lowest vote getter, if the chat's any indication. The first prime timeline meeting of James Kirk and Spock in season 2, episode 6, Lost in Translation, and Star Trek's Lower Deck style cartoon version of the Strange New World cast at the end of the crossover episode, Those Old Scientists. And that was the one that won, the depiction of the cast in cartoon style. And I have to say I agree. A fan of my podcast recently animated me and Adam talking about a moment in Voyager in a style that's like not super dissimilar from the Lower Deck style, and it was such a wake up, like looking at my phone in bed, knowing I shouldn't be in the morning, and like seeing that animation. It was just such a thrill. I think that it felt similar to seeing characters you love like reimagined in the style of other characters you love is a great way of thinking about those characters in a multi-dimensional way. And so I think everything about that episode, in both directions, really fleshed out Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds in cool ways.
It's the perfect way to end the episode. We started out with Lower Deck style animation, bookend it with the Strange New Worlds cast animated. And I don't think anybody saw that coming either, wasn't expecting it. And so to see it was a real treat.
Yeah.
And it hammered home a message that animation is a medium, that it's all the same canon. It doesn't matter if it's live action or animated. It's all Star Trek. It's all happening in the same universe.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
the whole episode
Yeah.
did that, but then
Yeah,
that was the cherry
bravo.
on top of, it's like, aha, and you can look at it
Yeah.
from the other direction.
Yes.
Right.
And they didn't spoil that at all, correct?
Right.
I don't think so.
Okay, except
No.
that the year earlier at Mission Chicago, when they talked
Yes.
about this, right? and the two of them came out on stage and kind of crashed the Strange New Worlds panel.
Yeah.
There was one moment where Anson said, yeah, and then to see yourself animated, it just blows you away. And I was like, wait, what'd he say? And no one ever picked it's almost like someone was kicking him under the table. I don't know. But I was like, he said that, and you can't take that away. And
Well,
then
you know, he's new at this. He
I
doesn't,
know.
And then, like, Larry,
It
how do you
wasn't
get all the panels? We're out at Fat Floor every night.
but I'm no, I was there for that one. But it's like there was so much big between the musical and the crossover, and it was like everything was so big this year. It's like, it was a little tiny bit. So anyway, when that popped up, I was like, that's what he meant, and that's why. So that was my biggest spot.
Yeah. I can't disagree with the winner here, but I love Pike cooking in charades. I mean, I love
It was
that
a
whole
great scene.
episode. I LOL'd many times during charades. So
Great episode.
yeah, good
An-
stuff. Good
Anson's comedy chops are not to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And T'Pring's parents were just like the chemistry between those two was so off the charts, and like for characters that like we're not gonna see very much of them. Like
yeah.
What a
they are
so
they are
great.
tertiary at best, but like oh man, they really lit up the screen.
Incredible. John, bring
I
us
did
into the
vote for
next.
the mom.
Sorry.
I did vote for Spock telling his mom that he loved her.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
really identify with like the half characters since I grew up half Jewish, and like your two sides can be like different and warring and different like parts of society accept you as different ways. And it was Spock's a character where like Deanna Troi is much more balanced, but Spock is like so one-sided, and I just felt like it meant a lot to like see him open up about his other side, and like his mom is so amazing. It was about time he was nice to her.
Nice.
She had to go live on Vulcan. It must have been awful. So so that gave me the biggest smile, but I'm very happy that moment won with Strange New Worlds.
Excellent. All right, John, take us to the next one here. Our wow moment.
Yeah, the biggest wow moment of Star Trek in 2023. The nominees are Ro Laren returns to Star Trek and Picard season 3, episode 5. The Enterprise D reveal in episode 9, Vox of Picard. The introduction of Scotty in Strange New Worlds' finale, Hegemony. Nicholas Locarno is revealed to be the big bad of Lower Deck season 4. Worf kills Sneed and is revealed to be Raffi's handler in Picard Disengage. The Enterprise D bridge with the TNG crew and Magel's computer voice in Vox, and Spock and Nurse Chapel kiss in Charades. And the winner was the Enterprise D bridge with the TNG crew and Magel's voice. Again, can't argue with it. It was incredible to watch on TV. It was also incredible to watch on the IMAX during that screening of the finale. The emotional reaction it gets, it's overwhelming just to see. And also to see the bridge lit up so bright in comparison to how dark Picard was leading up to it. Just the sheer impact of seeing the Next Generation style cinematography brought back. Absolutely. I agree with this.
Anybody else?
Don't disagree with it, but I did enjoy Nick Locarno as the reveal of the big bad in
Yes.
Lower Decks.
How could you not? Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with this. I still Roe is the thing that shocked me. So that was a wow. But yeah, the bridge moment, that is the wow moment. Like, we knew it was coming, but it was still a wow. Larry, take us to the funniest episode, please.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes, the funniest episode of Lower Decks season 4. Parth Ferengi's Heart Place, something borrowed, something green. I have no bones, yet I must flee, which I thought was about McCoy at first. And Tuvix, Twovix. And the winner was I have no bones, yet I must flee, having nothing to do with McCoy at all.
People's obsession with Moopsie just like got this category out of control. But,
Say what? What?
I feel like people's obsession with Moopsie, like the
Yes.
second this episode came out, it was just like, we can only talk about Moopsie. Ben has a Moopsie. Like,
I have multiple Moopsies.
Nice. Nice.
But I got
But I
this
mean,
custom
kind of
3D
took
printed
over.
Moopsie at Indy. Yes.
All right.
Nice.
Lisa did those. So me, I took the question literally in the funniest episode. So you cannot deny the power of
Yes.
Moopsie. But it was like Moopsie was like
Right.
Moopsie was like a splash that was
Yeah.
like a one-off event. And yes, it was huge, but for the whole episode, And
No, I think they're gonna we're gonna find out about the Moopsie species and like what the,
cool. But I'm only dealing with what's before me here on the
I know.
question. So, and Tuvix was like, oh, we're going to kid about the Tuvix debate, which I've never cared about. And it's like, yeah, fine, that's the thing. And I have not been invested and to go, but fine. What I went to, funniest, like episode, like sustained the whole time. And they were basically tied. Parth Ferengi is like, just how many
What I voted
Ferengi
for.
jokes and how much Ferengi culture fleshing out
Mhm.
can we do that's funny, but also makes sense? And the same thing with the Orions, and both of them are way overdue, and the Orions are way overdue. And they're doing such a masterful job of having Tendi be the face of this. And they went from that little, we're not all pirates, just 98% of us are pirates, but, and I'm running away from it, and that's my thing, But both of those, I just love that the whole episode was just, and if you get the Orion alphabet, all the stuff on the, people weren't screen shooting this like they were, like everything else. But the Easter eggs of something brown, something green, and being on Orion is all that graphic, the alphabet stuff. Everything that's lettered in Orion. If you go and translate it, it says like a very fancy carrying chair. I mean, it's all like just on the. It's all anyway. So those those to me, they were just like rolling something out the whole time, and it's all canon, and they're developing a culture. And so that was one where I was tied on either one of those. Although the Ferengi goes more for like punchline.
Oh my god! Plus that Star Trek the experience, but on Ferenginar, and then the Ferengi waiters are like doing cosplay of Vulcan.
No, the TV commercials. Every time there's a little little square corner of the screen has got Ferengi potato chips and Ferengi this and Ferengi that, and it's
like the
Love
TV
that.
cop, the Ferengi cop shows. I mean, that was my
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Landlord
Yeah.
Cops, the most
Yeah.
Ferengi idea of all time.
Yeah. I agree with your logic, Larry, completely. Let's go to our next funniest moment of Star Trek overall in 2023. Anne Marie, if you would, please.
Sure. And I will make it a threesome from Worf. Boimler's in real life butt wiggle walk on those old scientists. Is this a rescue mission or a continuation of the torture? When like Worf arrives to save them, and Worf starts talking about how much he's thought of Deanna over the years. Totally underrated. Klingon pop, K-pop. Then we had Boimler maneuvers onto a saddle while saying Riker. Beheadings are on Wednesdays. Then we also had the Ferengi Genesis device that had a paywall, which was hilarious on lower decks. And then Worf napping on the bridge. And lastly, Rutherford and Boimler discovered twinning.
Waiting.
Okay, I did laugh my ass off at the tweening. Yeah.
That sounds dirty.
Adam and Ben not started calling it twinning.
I mean, yeah, I have a co-host that twains at me all the time. It's probably the worst part of talking about Star Trek for a living is twaining. So that would have been like last on my list of funniest moments.
Oh, that was first for me. The Twin Twains was.
All right, well, we just can't be friends. We can't be friends.
Oh, sounds like you really struck a nerve there, Ben. I'm
As long as you
sorry.
don't twine at each other.
Too close
Well,
to
thanks,
home.
sir. I guess we can't be friends.
Yeah,
Dear Adam, are you looking for someone to twain with? What
Yeah.
are you doing tonight?
I would introduce you to my co-host, but I don't want to engender any more of that in the world.
I'm engendering bias there. Is that what that is?
Oh my god. Oh, wait. I forgot to say who the winner was.
No, wait, they're
Like-
all winners.
Yeah,
They're all
winners.
good.
Okay. I opened the wrong version and now I can't remember.
It was, and I
It's
will make it a
threesome.
threesome.
Oh, make it a
Okay,
threesome.
that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The version of the winners that you sent to my email, Anne Marie, didn't when I opened it on my iPad, didn't have any of the highlights, and I was like,
I think that's what's going on.
this is the same thing that she sent me before, so I don't know what kind of prank
Oh,
this
yeah,
is.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
But I think that in the sense of them all being winners, I think that modern Star Trek nails comedy on a consistent basis in a way that there are very clunky, ham-fisted attempts at comedy in some of the old shows that I think that if they go for comedy now, it tends to hit, and that is appreciated as a person who likes a joke.
The button of "I will make it a threesome" is actually Riker going, "Do you even hear yourself?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So you get
Totally.
the
That's
one,
just
two,
good
yeah.
writing.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, his line about the continuation of the torture is great.
Mhm.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
are all good. They're all good.
So many good choices.
Well, I say, lest we run up against the clock tonight,
Nope.
we should
All
move
right.
forward.
Nope.
I do
Nope.
declare.
Nope.
Yeah.
Looking around.
I declare here's the next category. Who is the most interesting new character introduced in Star Trek in 2023? Specifically, characters who are introduced for the first time in 2023. This does not include any character that we have seen before. I guess we get the idea. All right, Jack Crusher in Picard Season 3, Episode 1. Captain Liam Shaw. Paella sounds delicious. No, it's Paella in The Broken Circle. Vedic in Disengage. Ensign Sidney LaForge. We also have De'Erica Tendi. We have Nira Katul in Ad Astra per Aspera. And the winner was there is no surprise here, right?
Yeah.
Captain Liam Shaw, played by the great Todd Stashwick.
RSVP.
Talk about
did-
taking
Yeah.
over a franchise by storm.
Yeah, and then they
Yeah,
killed him.
Reluctantly.
So
Oh,
He
he's
didn't
out.
say no to the award.
He's out.
no, that's right. That's right. Again, hard agree. He's just so good.
Mhm. He just
yeah.
embodies that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he
All right.
comes from a nerd. The whole thing about him coming from a nerd background himself, and he instantly could step in and knew what he was doing. He didn't have any idea about the magnitude, but he knew what he was walking into. So that was
Right.
and you could tell. Yeah.
So, Anne-Marie, we have a hard out at 9, right? Is that what
Yes.
you're telling me?
Oh my God.
Ruh-roh.
All right. So, Shar, you're next. I'm going to
Lightning round.
I'm going to let you pick. Do you want to go with the next category? You want to skip a category? It's up to you. It's chaos now.
Oh, chaos
Oh.
mode. Tell you
Uh-huh.
what, since this next one has lots of words, let's skip to the next one that has fewer.
many words?
Exciting and wow.
Less
ended up
reading.
being the same.
It almost
Uh-huh.
feels like some of those were repeating anyway, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just
yeah,
to point out,
So how
the
about we
winner
go
of this
for it?
next
The best
category-
antagonist of 2023.
Short answers.
We got Agamus, Vice Admiral Pasalt. Am I saying that right? Pasalt.
Salk.
Assault.
Okay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. Nick Locarno, the Gorn, Sarah, Vatic, and Moopsy. The winner was Vatic, not Moopsy.
I was shocked actually, because given how much people
Yeah.
love Lucy.
Yeah.
Moopsy is the
Honestly,
one
yeah.
is awesome, and it's a punchline, and it'll sell $1 million
I
if somebody ever
voted
gets
for
their head
Vatic.
out. But
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
Vatic was amazing, and she was amazing with the part. Anyway,
But
Yeah.
is she really the villain, or is the hand when she talks to the hand?
she's
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's the hand.
Talk to the hand, Vatic.
The hand.
she's a villain with motivation.
Yeah.
I think,
Was-
yeah,
she was
she's
abused and
fine.
tortured. Yeah.
And
What
I
a
thought
performance!
played, yes, great performance, played very well. But I don't know. I kind of lean toward Nick Locarno or maybe Vice Admiral Pasok. I don't know. That's just me being a
He's scary.
Crunterian. Too much of that. Ben, your choice for our next category.
Okay. Best new episode of Star Trek in 2023. We've got Strange New Worlds, Ad Astra per Aspera, Strange New Worlds, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, Lower Decks, A Few Badgies More, Strange New Worlds, Subspace Rhapsody, Strange New Worlds, Those Old Scientists, Picard, Disengage, Lower Decks, Something Borrowed, Something Green, Picard, The Last Generation, and Strange New Worlds, Lost in Translation. The winner, obviously, The Last Generation, one of the best episodes of television in television history.
Is it though?
It absolutely is, John
Those
Champion.
last 25 minutes are so good.
Wait, what time zone was that 9 o'clock hard out?
We're going to be here all night.
I think The Last Generation was one of the best episodes of Picard. Hands down, no question. I still think Ad Astra per Aspera is one of the best episodes of Star Trek ever made. So just going to leave that there.
I think Last Generation shits on all of these other entries. And it won for good reason, because it's the best episode of television.
Well,
On the nostalgic factor, I agree
believe
with
I
you.
take offense at your harsh
I'm
language. about
leaving.
this
I'm getting
episode.
out of here.
Even bigger than the finale of MASH? I mean, what?
Oh,
It shits
Goodbye,
on the
farewell,
finale of
amen.
MASH.
Okay.
wow.
Them's
Wow.
fighting words.
Strong words
Okay.
only here on the post show. Can't do
Yeah.
this in the regular award show.
You can't talk about episodes shitting on things in the regular
No.
award
I just
show.
thought overall this is a very unfair question because, again, it's just.
Yeah, look at all these competitors.
Yeah.
What's
Look
the
at all those
question?
fine and excellent competitors up against the best episode of television ever made. Wow. What a category.
All right.
Okie dokie.
Well, we know where Ben lands on this one, so let's go over to John for our
With a
next
plot.
category. Your choice.
Yeah, let's just do the shortest one, which is the very short trek, the best very short trek of 2023, with the best celebrated animated Star Trek, which is these are weirdly out of order. Episode
Oh
1.
wait, we have a news flash, which is that we can go till up till 7 after. We don't have to like rush,
Oh!
Yes.
but
All right.
that's the hard
All right, we got
Okay.
12
Okay,
minutes. Let's
sorry,
make them
John.
count.
So yes, the best very short trek that's celebrated, the best celebrated animated Star Trek. Episode 1, Skin a Cat. Episode 5, Walk Don't Run. Episode 4, Holograms All the Way Down. Episode 3, Worst Contact. Episode 2, Holiday Party. And the winner was episode 4, Holograms All the Way Down, written by Aaron J. Walke. The best episode of these 5. Pretty hard to argue this.
Of course.
By
Yes.
far and away. Yeah.
Although I would have
Yeah.
Walk Don't Run as a number 2.
Yes.
Me too.
Mhm.
And
was
then
so,
it's all the
like-
way down. Then it falls.
5 was so fun. I mean, 5 was really fun because it felt like you were watching Adult Swim when like Cartoon Network just came out, and a really quirky way that reminded me of TAS. But I mean, Holograms All the Way Down was like,
But it had
amazing.
everything.
Yes,
including
and it made-
Prodigy.
Everything.
I didn't realize
including-
how much I missed Neelix.
Mhm.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
No, there was
Neelix.
Enterprise. There was everybody was represented. So, and it was well done.
masterfully done. And I know the term "all the way down" from Adam and Ben, which so
Yeah,
I thought
the-
was extra cool.
The title of that is Aaron told us is a reference to the way we talk on The Greatest Generation. So
Nice.
very
Yeah.
flattering, but Worst Contact also like the one that I think about the most, you know?
It's hard to
I
unsee
don't
that.
make
Yeah.
fish.
Yeah.
Oh,
Best.
All right. Well, I guess nothing more about those short treks and those very.
We got 7 extra minutes for that.
We got 7 minutes for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Ryan. And you're
Yeah.
welcome. All right. So, Larry, let's just move to the next because we got a little bonus round here.
Oh, that's okay. So we
no,
totally.
we don't have to go over these if you don't want. They're kind of like, these are just like for what we call the Golden Lobes, which is just like a joke category show.
Well, Under the Gun, we totally skipped the one with the long answers. So
we did.
We did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back over that.
Let's go back.
Okay, I'll do that,
Exciting.
and but I'll
All
still
right.
be.
Okay.
I'll still go against type and be real fast with this. Okay. 20 minutes maybe. What is the most but this is also a little bit duplicative of the other one. I'm saving time.
There's a preamble for this?
I'm not reading the preamble. What is the most exciting moment of Star Trek in 2023? I'm just saying that this also overlaps some of these other questions. Most exciting moment of all Trek in 2023.
Okay.
Riker throws an asteroid at Vadic's ship in no-win scenario. Deanna Troi flies the Enterprise to save Riker, Picard, Troi, everybody, and does it well.
Yeah.
Mariner escapes with the Ferengi Genesis device. I'm Erica Ortegas, and I fly the ship from Lotus Eaters. Seven disobeys Captain Shaw's orders for Picard and Riker. Scotty returns to Star Trek. Seeing the Enterprise 1701D bridge with the TNG crew and hearing Magel's computer voice, up if you've heard that one. The Borg are behind the red door.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Enterprise 1701D reveal in Vox, just the ship, not the insides. And the winner was, stop me if you've heard this before, seeing the 1701D bridge with the TNG crew and hearing Magel's computer voice in Vox.
And
since that was in 47 other different questions and won them, truly the most
really
exciting.
Swept the awards this year.
Yes, it did. It was the Star Trek Saturday.
It's obviously going to. What, like, the kudos are making it.
Okay, literally the question says exciting moments, so right there, bang, and that was this extended the moment when everything, but the moment and the thing that almost I forgot until I saw the nomination. I just thought it was so awesome with the asteroid throwing. That was so not Star Trek, and they did it, and I was like, oh, well, that was actually cool. I'm like, I stood up, and that was early on. That was the fourth, and the other ones are all good. They're all,
I think if Troy had flown the Enterprise with a joystick that had like risen up out of the floor, we might be having a different conversation right
even
now.
better.
Right.
Well, the Tokyo Drift was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But actually, what's not on here, what I would have voted for is seeing the Enterprise D flying through the Borg cube in a way we've never seen that ship actually, fight and fly and perform before. Yeah, because that was amazing to see that.
Yeah.
Which the laws of physics would actually support.
The needle drop of Beastie Boys music when they were doing it was just perfect.
Totally.
I feel like Scotty doesn't get enough love, although, I mean, the bridge just blew me away so much that I had to vote for that. But when Scotty was revealed and it was such great casting, that really took my breath away too.
Great casting, but it's a sore spot with me that we're cramming the Kirk crew in so fast. But that's Akiva Goldsman, and I can't do a thing about it. So
Same.
Okay.
Yeah, I want Strange New Worlds to be Strange New Worlds. They have such a good cast.
Yes.
And they need to
do
Pike's crew.
Yeah, they need to do their
I thought you
own
called Strange
stories. They're so damn good.
When you hear the enormous scream from wherever the hell I'm living because they brought McCoy on now, you will know that I'm just out. I've just exploded in a puff of smoke.
Look, I'd be
that's
fine if
you.
we got a Dr. Boyce. If we got a Dr. Boyce,
Yes.
I am so
And
down.
it was Jeffrey Combs.
Or Dr. Piper.
Jeffrey Combs, yes.
Or Dr. Piper.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. Good with
should
all
be
of that.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Roger Kirby.
Yes.
Yes, I'm waiting on
We need
those.
some
Waiting
hot
for that.
Roger Corby.
I'm waiting on all that.
Chapel
Not
situation.
a Scotty. I'm waiting on that.
Yeah. So I can't. Yeah, definitely. Scotty does not get my vote.
Great actor. Great. Does great with it.
Oh, yeah.
Does great with that than some other things I could say.
Enterprise Bridge is great. The Borg are behind the door, of course, because it's like you can't write a Picard story anymore without having some Borg tie-in. That's just the rule. And I love Ortegas, and I love that she flies the ship. That's great.
Yeah.
But that's all we know about her.
But that's what we know. Yeah.
And
yeah,
also, is that an
exactly.
exciting moment?
Right.
No.
It was just a nice character moment. It wasn't like, ooh, now the episode has started. No. And I do love Riker throwing the asteroid. I think 7 isn't quite getting enough attention in the last year or two of Star Trek. And I love that a moment like her disobeying Captain Shaw is sort of informed by everything in 7's journey. From the time we first met her on Voyager. So a moment like that is great. Again, maybe not a wow moment, maybe not the most exciting moment, but just so earned by everything the character's been through. So
super well written.
Kind of thing like that I'll remember. Yeah. We're not going to eat up all 5 minutes here. It is 9:02. So we're not going to go till 9:07, but I do want to jump to one of these bonus questions here, because there's one about the
there's a million of them. Okay.
yeah, there's a lot here.
I forgot there were this many.
No, with the broken arm one. Wait a minute. Hair. No. No, we're not going to do that one. We are going to do the best ABBA album cover, Which Foursome. Jake Nog, Tendi
Okay, of
Chapel.
course.
For the hair, Tasha Yar at the rehearsal dinner where it's like blown out with like tons of volume should have won. But
That's that is pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I'm down for that. I think that's
I
good.
love Haven. I guess.
So ABBA cover, Jake Nog, Tendi Chapel, Kira Laan, Trip Tuvok. I'm already leaning toward that one. Spock, April, Jadzia Loaxana, EMH Damar, Laan Tendi, Paul Jadzia, Kirk Pike. That's too hot. And that's, I mean, all right. Rom Phlox, Seven Mariner, Archer, Soval, Dr. Crusher, Guinan. That's a weird collection right there. Laan, Lita, Damar, Data. I could see that. EMH, Quark, Tasha Yar, Uhura. Now, the winner was T'Pol Jadzia, Kirk Pike. Again, I say too hot. Entirely too hot to be contained on one album cover.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to I think Kira Laan, Trip
and Tuvok.
Tuvok. Yeah.
I have heard
enough
through the
Tuvok.
grapevine that at this year's STLV, T'Pol Jadzia, Kirk, and Pike will be doing some ABBA stuff as holograms on stage.
Oh, good.
All
Yeah, that's perfect.
right.
Yeah, it's the next generation of
The
that
winner takes it
generation.
all.
Who's paying for that? It sure won't be free. Oh, I didn't say that. Okay.
All right. That is about all the time we have. We're going to be so generous with this remaining 2 to 3 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for watching the LLAPy Awards post show. I want to go around really quickly and just have people say where they could be reached if they want to be reached. If they don't and they want to live in anonymity, you can do that too. Shar?
Yeah, you can find me on social networks. My handle is the Profanity if I have an account wherever it is you like to go. And check me out on Mission Log Prodigy, where we interviewed Bonnie Gordon for Virtual TrekCon, and that'll be released as a podcast very soon in the feed.
John?
Yeah, you can find me at Back of the Head on social media and screenrant.com/Star Trek.
Ben?
I'm on most social media websites. My shows are on most social media websites as Greatest Trek, and I'm at Benjamin AHR on Blue Sky. That's pretty much the only social network I'm on anymore.
Oh, bless you. Larry?
I'm envious.
I haven't made the leap. I'm still doing Twitter, but this is my biggest thing. So yeah, Larry Nemecek, Twitter and YouTube. Please, everybody, go and subscribe on our YouTube channel. There's a lot of stuff there. The Trek Files and Roddenberry every Tuesday. Soon to resume on Tuesdays Live also, and Second Opinion, and some of my newer things are out there. And Cadet Alice and everything. Yay! And everything. LarryNemecek.com.
Anne-Marie?
So just Twitter at Anne-Marie Segal1, and then Virtual TrekCon and Seventh Rule.
Also good for you. And you can reach us at podcast.roddenberry.com. A whole bunch of shows there for you to check out, and follow us on our various social handles at Roddenberry Podcasts. And this is fun. Let's do it again next year. All right. See ya, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Oh,
Trek
and
well,
the link
everybody.
to the next video is in the description box below.
It is in the description, so click that. And
Go
we'll see you
to
later.
it.
Do
Bye.
it. Do it now.
Do it.
And we are clear.
Thank you.